We're back with even more breaking news. We know the media has been taking shots at President Trump on a number of issues. His executive order that we've been talking about would be one example of that. But as we go to our newsroom here in New York, bring Charlie Gasparino in. I know Charlie's been digging at some information on the New York Times, and they're going to go after him on something completely different, right, Charlie? What is it?
Well, what we hear, now we're getting this from inside the Trump camp. I've not been able to confirm this with the Times. We've been trying to get to them for the last, I would say, 48 hours on this. But what the speculation inside the Trump camp is that the New York Times is going to set up a special investigative unit, basically to look into the business ties of Donald Trump, his family, and administration officials, that they're going to do something very specific. Listen, we should point out that they've been looking at the various business ties of Trump administration officials and some of his nominees for cabinet posts for a while. Some of those people have dropped out of contention for various jobs. We should point out Vincent Viola, who is the former head of the New York Mercantile Exchange, was slated to become the Army Secretary. He dropped out for business ties. Anthony Scaramucci, former Fox Business contributor, was slated to have a special liaison office. He has at least temporarily dropped out because of some exposés, after exposés by the Times on his business ties, who he sold his hedge fund company Skybridge to. We should point out he may come back, but at least temporarily he's been out. But now we understand that the Times, at least on the Trump side of the ledger, this is what they're saying, is going to ramp up the scrutiny even more. There's going to be a special investigative unit into the business ties of all the cabinet members and the President Trump himself, and I guess his children, Jared Kushner, who is his son-in-law, who's the scion of a real estate family here in town. So this is going to be an ongoing narrative out of the New York Times. Donald Trump, business ties, his administration officials, and of course the conflicts of the interest that those business ties generate.
Now, Kushner's supposedly...
Let me make this one
go ahead,
point.
Charlie, sorry.
The Times has no comment on this so far. Just so you know, we have not been able to reach them on this.
No, I was going to say the Kushner family's been reported to be involved in maybe buying a baseball team, the Miami Marlins, where Jared himself wouldn't be involved, but his brother would. But this whole idea, and I was just thinking about this when you were talking, is that this is already happening to some extent, but this could be, I guess, the hiring of new reporters and really focusing it on a unit, which,
Yeah, well, then it becomes much more of a heightened sort of issue at the Times, where it looks like from the top of the Times, Dean Baquet, the editor of the Times, is making it a sort of a directive, given a directive that the business ties of Donald Trump, his children, the administration officials, needs to be a focus over the next 4 years. And listen, if you're talking to people on the left, they would say, thank God that someone is doing it. You know, we need to know the conflicts of interest with these people. If you talk to people in the Trump administration, they're going to say they're looking to delegitimize the administration with this intense focus, which they did not do the same type of intense focus on Obama administration officials. So
let us know if you hear back from the Times on this, and we'll check back with you on that and some other stuff a little bit later on in the show.